Hello, I'd like to talk today about some of the alternative forms of heritage white pine weaving as opposed to baskets. During the Civil War and up until the Victorian age, these were also created into wall discs. I'm going to show some examples of wall discs, and if you will let me indulge myself to talk a little bit about the stones and the metals that I use. To get started, I'd like to say the reason why I do these videos and the reason why I continue the artwork of the Appalachian people, to my knowledge, I'm one of the last people, if not the last person, to continue to do this art form of heritage white pine weaving. I want people to know when I'm gone that the Appalachian people were creative, artistic, and had a love of beauty, even though they had poverty and some of them had lack of education. They were intelligent and creative people. So this is an example of a wall disc. To my knowledge, there are no existing wall discs from the era. So all these that I'm going to show are discs that I created myself over the years. This disc, I couldn't even tell you how old it is. It is made of the white pine needles. A little closer so you can see. These discs are flat. They are traditionally decorated on the back. Sorry about that. Again, golden retriever. This on the back, the covering on the back is either an archival wool or an archival polyester. This one I believe is wool. It's treated to repel insects. And often the Appalachian people had Celtic influences in their art. This is a Beather. It is the Scottish dragon. The stones on this particular piece are labradorite from Finland. The darker stones are spinel. The metal on this is sterling. I made this one for my daughter. Haven't given it to her yet, just to show the different colors that can be utilized. The thread that you use to sew is waxed linen. Waxed linen does come in different colors, so you can, these needles behind this are dyed, but it brings out the color of the dyed needles by using the waxed linen. This is sterling, azurite, and the middle pieces here are actually, now that I'm looking at it closer, I remember this piece I made for my daughter, is sterling, azurite. These are emeralds and sapphires. And the what looks like stone here are actually New Zealand abalone. This is another piece that shows the Celtic influence. This is lace agate, and this is a double-headed wolf. The metals on this is brass. And like I said, the lace agate. Again, you can see how this can be, the needles can be dyed. Needles are dyed with RIT dye. RIT dye was introduced to this country in about 1900. Prior to the introduction of RIT dye, they would use natural dyes. Poke was one of the things they used. The natural dyes may be part of the reason why the wall discs that were created at that time did not survive. You have to be very careful with how you create the discs to prevent any kind of mold buildup. And a lot of the natural dyes did have a lot of things, and sugars in them primarily, that made them so they weren't as durable. You see the back of this one. Again, it's treated with archival wool. I have one here that I'd like to show that does not have a back on it yet, so I can show you what they look like on the back so you can see the construction. This has a Velknut inside. The metals on this is sterling. The stone is yellow turquoise. And this yellow turquoise is from India. All the stones I use, and thank you for indulging me in this because it is just a passion of mine, are all ethically sourced. I only use ethically sourced stones. The discs, when they were originally created by the Appalachian artists, would have used clay beads, and they would have used, if they were lucky, glass, because those are the two things that would have been available to them. I use ethically sourced semi-precious gemstones, and the metals I use are platinum. I'm having a senior moment here. It's not copper. Bronze, platinum, bronze, gold, and silver are what I use. And I'll show you the back of this so you can see the construction. The reason why the backs are covered is because the backs are not terribly attractive. This particular piece, you can really see the buildup of the beeswax, because again, once the stones are on them, when the stones are already present, everything is done. That is when it is submerged in beeswax and it's baked. That baking process will change the dimensions a little bit, so you see how this is kind of curve is not exactly perfect. When it was put on there, it was. But the baking process drives the moisture out of the needles and drives the wax into the needles, and it changes it a little bit. So even if things are perfectly lined up, once it's baked, they're no longer perfectly lined up. This particular one, I get a little closer, it has the beads that have the Celtic symbols on them also. I'm going to flip this around one more time so you can see the back. This is reinforced with sisal. It's got a double reinforcement because when the back is put on this, the backing will actually go underneath this edge here. It's pulled underneath a little bit, and that holds it flat, just so you can see what the back looks like. I'm going to show you a couple more. This one still has a label on it. I hope you're enjoying this. This is lapis lazuli. I used to go to shows, and that's why some of them have labels. My health is now preventing me from attending art shows. So I started this YouTube channel so that I may continue to share this Appalachian art form with people during the time that I have left. Like I said, though, I no longer can actually attend shows anymore. My health prevents me. But this one is lapis lazuli, and it's a named piece. And the back actually does have some glass on it. This is spinel. It's dyed spinel, which is a kind of a form of glass. Boy, my golden retriever, he's here on the floor. There he is. That's the boss. Hi, baby. Sorry. Little aside. That's why I have dog hair in my office. And for the last piece I'm going to show you is this particular piece. This is one that is done in brass. It's brass and coffee agate, and the centerpiece is an ammonite. The ammonite is from Madagascar. And actually, you know what? I'm going to correct myself here. This is not brass. This is gold. I got a better look at it when I was looking at the top here. Sometimes it's been so long since I made these, it's hard for me to remember. I think it doesn't even have a label on it. Flip it over and show you the back. The backs were the traditionally made old ones did have decorated backs, and I do know this because my great-grandmother told me about these. She never actually owned any. I've just recreated them from what she told me of what they look like and the dimensions and how they were made. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you continue to learn a little bit about this Appalachian art form. Again, I started my YouTube channel just a short time ago to tell people about this art form while I still have the ability. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed that.